P9 back at you guys with another vlog, and it's the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, the US of A, and I'm standing in front of the Barron County Courthouse right here in Glasgow, Kentucky. So we about to take a walk through Glasgow and get the vibes and the history. You know how that go. So stay tuned. Let's get into it, shall we? What's going on, good people? This is P9 coming at you guys with another vlog, and I am here in the city of Glasgow, Kentucky. Glasgow is a city located in south central Kentucky, and it is the seat of Barron County. As you guys can see, I'm right here at the Courthouse Square facing the Barron County Government Center. Also, you have Barron County Courthouse right here. But Glasgow is a city. It was actually named after Glasgow, which is a major city in Scotland. So we're about to take a walk through Glasgow. Now this is basically a circle. They call these courthouse squares. A lot of these buildings were built either in the early 1800s, the late 1700s, early 1800s, some even as recent as the late 19th century. So a lot of old buildings, of course. Got a few modern. There goes the Glasgow City Hall. Luska J. Twyman Municipal Building, to be exact. And of course, here goes a monument of, this is commemorating the Confederate soldiers of America. So of course, being that Kentucky played a huge part in the Revolutionary War and Civil War, War of 1812, all those wars. There's going to be a lot of history pertaining, more specifically, Civil War. And the population of Glasgow is 15,000, little over 15,000 residents, called Glasgow home. So pretty good sized city. Highland Social, so they have like a bar over here. Go ahead and cross over here. Highland Social. So this is like a pub kind of atmosphere right here. Oh wow, they have a Veterans Wall of Honor. So this is called the Beulah C. Nunn Park. So it's one of those veterans memorial parks. It was established November 23rd, 1970. The mayor was Luska Twyman. Athletic director Ochel Tuck. These are on the recreation board. So it's a whole bunch of names of Barron County veterans who served in multitude of the military branches. You can see right here. They even have the flowers. And they talk about the Veterans Wall of Honor. The multiple branches, Merchant Marines, Marine Corps. They real thorough. They commemorating all the Barron County soldiers. Even comes with a fountain. Of course, the Civil War regalia right here. This was actually restored by the Glasgow Downtown Business Association back in 2021. November 11, 2021 to be exact, Veterans Day. And here's an marker in honor of Luska Joseph Twyman, who was born in Hinesville, Barron County, graduate of Kentucky State University, later member of the Board of Regents, and also studied at Indiana University and Peabody College. And as a principal of Ralph J. Bunch School, Twyman led its merger with Glasgow High School to achieve integration. And on Kentucky Education Association Board of Directors, he was buried at Bear Wallow Cemetery. So salute to Luska Twyman, who had a lifespan of 75 years. You also have this obelisk. It's kind of favors the Washington, like a smaller Washington monument. This was erected to the memory of those men and women of Barron County who answered the call of their country in the Great War of 1917 to 18. So I'm guessing that would be World War I. Here's a memorial in honor of Billy Vaughn, native son of Glasgow, internationally acclaimed musical genius, instrumentalist, recording artist, composer, arranger, and conductor. Received 11 gold and 2 platinum records. Wow, Billy Vaughn. I've never heard of Billy Vaughn. I'm definitely going to do my research. I like discovering these artists, old and new, and taking a listen to their music. So Billy Vaughn, Glasgow's native son. So yeah, they have a whole wall of honor over here. They even have a seating area. So this is actually pretty cool. It's right here at the square. Go ahead and cross over here. Shout out to the USPS, United States Postal Service. Geosonics Vibratech. This building was built in 1917. The supervising architect was James Wetmore. Let me go back to the courthouse grounds. A few more markers. One of the markers is a lady by the name of Willa Brown Chappell or Chappelle. I don't know if it's Chapel or Chappelle, but this Glasgow native was the first African-American woman to earn a pilot's license in the U.S. in 1937. That year, she also earned master's degree from Northwestern University, and she was the first African-American officer in Civil Air Patrol and the first African-American woman to hold both a mechanic's license and commercial pilot's license. So, yeah, Miss Willa Brown Chappell was very accomplished. She was also the co-founder of the National Airmen's Association of America, which worked to get African Americans into the U.S. Air Force. And she co-founded the Coffee School in 1940 of Aeronautics, which trained black pilots. Some of these pilots became part of the Tuskegee Airmen. She was influential in the integration of the U.S. military in 1948. Oh, wow. First time I've ever heard of Willa Brown Chappell. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. She actually, she basically was responsible for, integrating the military, or played a huge part in it, in that role. Nettie B. C. Depp, the first female public official in Barron County. She was elected in 1913, 7 years before women were allowed to vote. She was Barron County School Superintendent from 1914 to 17, and instrumental in unifying local schools to create county's first four-year high school housed in former Liberty County, Glasgow. So she taught school in Scottsville from 1923 to 1931. So she was basically responsible for also improving and repairing local one-room schools. Back during that time, one-room schools were very common. So they didn't really have a lot of full-size high schools and whatnot. So shout out to Miss Depp, Miss Nettie B. Depp, and Willa Brown Chappell. And it just talks about the Confederate Congressional Medal of Honor. You tell these markers are very much aged. They're very aged. Christmas mishap. On December 24th, 1862, main body of Morgan's Raiders made camp south of here. Captain Quirk and scouts entered town, although USA troops patrolled area, and the CSA scouts wished to celebrate Christmas Eve and dismounted at the tavern. Oh, wow. So, there was a lot of activity going on during Christmas of 1862. Now, we did mention before about Mr. Morgan. Morgan was in which one was that? The Scottsville vlog. Morgan had gotten into Barron County without meeting Union opposition at Glasgow. That changed the war. And this is an image of the skirmish at Glasgow, which is one of the few times Morgan's men fought in the saddle. They generally dismounted before engaging Federal soldiers. That's what I thought. That was like the normal thing. Dismount and then fight. And this is Morgan and his crew when they captured a large sutler's wagon laden with Christmas treats for the Union Army. So they was real petty, All they wanted to do was spread some Christmas cheer, and the Confederates was like, nope, we're gonna ruin your entire Christmas. But Captain Quirk, Thomas Quirk right here, commanded a company of men known as Quirk Scouts. These men were always in the forefront before an attack, and officers served as Morgan's rear guard in the event of a retreat. So Morgan arrived about 6 miles south of Glasgow that evening. So it was a lot of activity, of course, again, during the Civil War, specifically in 1862, Christmas, right here in Glasgow. Now that building over there, it's called the Mitchell Terry Building. Doesn't look like really anything is open. It looks like it's only one tenant that's open, and that's an absolute sweet cupcake shop. Another look at the courthouse. There's another monument up there in dedication to the Vietnam vets from Barron County. And I like how the string lights stretch across here as well, stretches across that piece of concrete all the way up to the Barron County Government Center. That's very cool. And check this out. Just some background on how Barron County came to be. In 1798, Barron County was taken from parts of Greene and Warren counties. Glasgow County seat was founded in 1799. County received name from the barrens or prairies of this region. Early explorers and settlers came through this area. And in Civil War, first two of Morgan's raids moved through here, 1862. And the CSA invasion of Kentucky under General Braxton Bragg entered here in 1862. So Barron County was actually formed like 6 decades before the onset of the war. Gillen Water Building, where you have the Rogers and Drivers attorneys at law. Joe Publishing Inc. Progress. Drinking game. This right here is the Plaza Theater. The Art Deco architecture. Now the Plaza Theater does host like concerts and things like that. So they still open. Matter of fact, there goes the marquee right there. So again, it has that old Art Deco form of architecture that you see common with those small town theaters. You have the Doors, the Ultimate Doors, tribute to the Doors, coming on August 8th, 26th, right here at the Plaza. Jason Crabb on July 11th. Nathan Chester and the Old Souls of Motown Revival is going to be performing here June 20th. And you have Marty Brown with special guest Christian Brown on June 13th. So that's only 3 days from today. So it's pretty cool. They have these events right here at the Plaza. Very historical venue right here in Glasgow. Now, here's some information about the historic Plaza Theater. It was renovated and is now the gem of the downtown area of Glasgow, but the rather unspectacular exterior appearance of the plaza leads visitors to be truly awed by the beauty and uniqueness of its interior. Both the lobby and auditorium are steeply banked due to the fact that the building follows the slope of the hill on which it was built. And the walls in the auditorium are covered with balconies, statuary, and other features resembling a Mediterranean piazza, thus named the plaza. And it was constructed in the early 1930s during the financial difficulties of the Depression. And the building was designed by local architect Dixon Rapp and was a labor of love for owner Bruce Apsley. Mr. Apsley opened his new theater on August 23rd, 1934 with the movie Cat's Paw starring Harold Lloyd. And all 1,500 seats were reportedly sold out. So Bruce Apsley owned and operated this theater until his retirement in 1955. And his son, Walter Jigger Apsley, carried on the family tradition until he sold the theater in the early 70s. So since then, the building was used for various purposes until it closed in the 1990s. And then the city purchased it and basically renovated it and kept it going to what its current use is. So that's just the history of that very monumental venue right here in Glasgow. Rogers and Driver, attorneys at law. Interesting painting of postman delivering mail. Glasgow. So that building holds the Glasgow Barron County Tourism. So you have this little alleyway right here with some more artwork. Historic downtown mural right here. Hashtag travel KY. Hashtag better in the Barrens. What's that say? Oh, that's Glasgow. It says Glasgow KY. Okay. Or Glasgow, Kentucky. I like the design. It's almost like it's almost like that same similar design like that you would see on bandanas. Kind of like that similar design, like some feathers or something. But it's really dope. It's really nice artwork. So you have the off the square alley, couple of shops over here. Local Roots and Soiree at the plaza. You have the string lights, of course. And you can still get a good view of the theater from over here. I don't know if you guys can see it from over here. Yeah, over here. Off the square. Prescriptions. So that's the Barron County Development Center building. It's like a bus stop. I wonder if they have a city bus that runs through here. So a few more shops over here. Oh, they have a bookstore right here. Nadine West Book Company. It's that's nicely designed. Nicely designed bookstore. From Nails to Tails Pet Salon. Flora template. On the side of this Mitchell Terry building is this mural of a lot of classical works of literature, aka books. So I think this is really cool artwork. They have a lot of the classics up here. They even have Snoopy right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Snoopy from Charlie Brown. A lot of good literature. Things Were Never Better. They got To Kill a Mockingbird up there by Harper Lee. Sam Terry's Kentucky. All type of cool stuff. This is very neat artwork. And this artwork was brought to you by Bridge, Kentucky. So you can QR code that, get more information, insight on the mural. But these are all the individuals: Dalton Bishop, Jackie Browning, Bobby Doc Guilfoyle, Bud Lane, Henry Hank Royce, and Luska Tybee. Shout out to all of those individuals. And check this out. This is Houchin's first store right here. The original building standing on the original location in which Irwin G. Houchins went into business in 1917. This building was constructed by Irvin Houchins and his brother on the farm then owned by his father. From this humble beginning, Houchins Industries, Inc., operators of food stores, shopping centers, and other enterprises throughout central Kentucky and Tennessee has originated. And this is basically part of a museum. And it sits right next to this arts and antiques building. So this is actually the Cultural Center, South Central Kentucky Cultural Center, and Barron County Historical Foundation, dedicated to telling the story of the people, places, and events that make up the geographic area, as well, are known as the Barrens, Metcalfe, Allen, Hart, and Monroe counties, as well as Barron County. And this is housed in the old Kentucky Pants Factory in the South Central Kentucky Cultural Center, also known as the Museum of Barrens. Is a 30,000 square feet packed with area history. So the Kentucky Pants Factory was a central part of Glasgow's downtown and primary manufacturing facility from 1928 to 1986, so a span of 58 years. Renovating the factory into a cultural center serves as an excellent example of how an abandoned historic resource can be adapted to fulfill the needs of a community. So yep, this is it right here, former Pants Factory. Oh yeah, definitely a factory for sure. It's a radio station right here. Country music station, Willie 94.1, WCLU radio, and Beaver 102.3. Sits right next to this law firm, Basil Law Firm. See, that's Liberty Street over there. Look how that road slopes. Look at that incline. This is the Glasgow's Water Company, GWC, Glasgow's Water Company. South Central Kentucky Cultural Center, open year-round, Glasgow, Kentucky. Log cabin exhibit. Museum of the Barons. Huh. Nice mural right here that says, "Welcome to Glasgow." KY, which obviously stands for Kentucky. It's really nice artwork, very colorful and vibrant. Lights up downtown. You have the hashtag Better in the Barrens and hashtag Explore KY. Very nice artwork. They even have a Shogun Bistro. And the Kentucky Kentucky Pants Company. So of course, this is old school. This is where now hosts the Museum of the Barons in the Kentucky Cultural Center. But it was in its heyday. Manufacturer, makers of fine slacks and jeans. Check out that view right there. Molly Settle. This artwork was done by Molly Settle in 2022. Shouts out to Molly Settle. I like how artwork makes a lot of these old buildings come alive. Kind of revitalizes them in a sense. This is where community medical care is. Dr. Moody's Corner. Community at its best, taking care of its own. Food, shelter, education, medical. Excellent to have that for the community. Food drive. For the less fortunate. Nutrition is very important. Have to put a lot of emphasis on healthy eating and nutrition and exercise as well. Oh wow, they have a Dracula. These are a glimpse of some of the events they're going to have here in Glasgow. They already had this event, Moonlight and Magnolias by Ron Hutchinson. Lady Susan. Okay. But yeah. And just give you guys an idea of the events and culture that Glasgow has to offer. Thank everybody for watching this vlog. If you made it this far, make sure you tap the like button. Also, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. And once you tap that bell, make sure you select all. That way you get notified every time I drop a new vlog. That in mind, good people, thanks again for watching. See you guys on the next one. Peace.